When in doubt, you can pretty much always find a washout here. So Jen and I are generally pretty compatible. The one thing is she tends to be a little more on the frugal side. I tend to be more on the failure adverse side / I break everything out here because, you know, day after day use. Grubbing in the dirt tends to be hard on things. So the stove I had with me before was leaking. I was having to disconnect it all the time. Jen had an older one. This is the same model stove, Soto. With her that she said was fine. And sure enough, I'm alone for 2 days and already this is acting up again. It gutters a little when you turn on. It's twice now it has not turned on and fed gas at all, which is kind of worrying. And when it is turned off all the way, I'm smelling some leaking gas. I was talking to the Soto people and they're actually really, really good on warranties, and I like this stove. And they're saying that it's probably I'm just getting like dirt and dust in here or in the cap of the stove, and that's what's causing it. Unfortunately, my best opportunity to swap it out was in Tucson. I'm kind of going to be in the middle of nowhere here for another week or so. I may end up cold soaking beans by the end of this. I am a little lower on water this morning than I would prefer, but there is a maintained cache in about 6 miles. So I'm just going to aim to make that. I've found that rather than try and force feed myself a liter of water first thing in the morning, which is what I used to do up in the Sierra and things, I just try and pick a water source that's 4 or 5 miles in, because by then I've kind of gotten thirsty and I'm more ready to camel up. 14 miles of AZT left, and as it turns out, one of the guys that was there when I finished the PCT back in 2020 is actually out here. So I'm hoping I may run into him, though I always suspect with people getting going much earlier than me and stopping earlier than me, I have a good chance of just passing him in the dark or getting past in the morning while I'm drinking coffee. As of last night, I am at mile 100 on the Grand Enchantment Trail, which puts me a little over 300 total for the season. My pace has not been that great, just with all the disruptions with Jen coming out. Right before that, I did a nice solid 124 miles. I think my second week on the AZT, and that's usually where I'm aiming to hit. Honestly though, since my second season doing this, consistency has always been my bigger goal versus trying to get higher and higher numbers. There are things like the CDT where to do an end-to-end red line, you know, you have to be doing 22-ish plus a day, but in general, my big thing has been, okay, I can do 20s for a while. I can do more than that for a while. But if it's going to put me in a hotel requiring a bunch of downtime, it's better just to go a little bit slower, but be able to maintain. Most people I talk to, it's, you know, trying to do big days to get into this town, trying to do big miles to get it. There was a place you could order pizza from the trail back there. So people were really pushing it. Versus, I just really like being out here. I just want to be able to do longer and longer stretches, uninterrupted, just getting to enjoy being alone in the wild. People have been joking about how varied all these gate latches are. This has to be a first. So the weighted pulley pulls it back closed. So that is Flash. Damn wind. Flash was somebody that I met in the Oregon section of the PCT right around Timberline. We actually hung out while we were charging batteries and things there. And I saw him again on the last day getting to the monument at the Canadian border. And I was just walking along right there. He went off and I jumped about a foot in the air. Okay, I'm awake now. Yes, you are pissed off. So I believe that is the thing that they were just posting about building. Apparently the Arizona Trail people put it together. It is a rainwater catch. So after the rainy season, that should have enough water to basically service this area throughout the hiking season. Okay, so that was pretty much the definition of a good spot. I had other hikers to talk to. There was water in the cache, and a trail angel from Kearney showed up, and he had cold Tecate. There was also a county guy out here looking at that rain catch. Apparently, per him, there's not enough rain to actually fill that thing with the surface area. So they're trying to figure out how to put water in it, and that's going to be difficult because this is a pretty remote trailhead. that Takati was ice cold and so tasted amazing, which is the only reason I said yes. I generally don't go for beers in the middle of the day because they make it hard to get my miles. But the other thing is I was probably a little bit dehydrated when I got to that cache, so I am feeling it. I have heard from multiple people that Snapper, the lady from yesterday, is up ahead. She probably got moving earlier in the day. And there is also a couple with a dog who is on the get that a few people have run into. I have basically been slowly climbing for the last day or so. Looks like now I basically descend down to Beehive. Per the Trail Angel, it is going to cool off in a couple of days. I think he said around Thursday. But between now and then, at least one day may hit records for this time of year. Nice thing is the breeze has made it more habitable out here than what I thought it might be. Still, by yesterday around 1 o'clock, it was getting kind of brutal. My plan is similar, hike until it is really dragging on me, and then if there's a shady spot, wait it out till 4:30 or so. Just ran into another hiker going northbound. And instead of talk of water or anything, our talk was, okay, so where was the last good shade you saw? I just sent her to a tree that's like 1.5 miles back that's super shaded. It actually has leaves. I think it's a cottonwood or something like that. Unfortunately, she said that for this next section, it's basically like this. So I may have screwed up by not stopping when I passed that tree. This isn't what I'd quite been hoping for, but I did manage to find partial shade. I may be stuck here. It's gotten really, really hot. My watch was claiming it was going to get up to 97 today. Well, that's a relief. I think I might be able to get going a couple hours early here. Kind of hoping it rains on me. It's a little better out of the sun, but it is just brutal today. So this is Putnam Wash up here, where I'm going to be departing the AZT. Easy days are over, and there is supposed to be a good water source here, which I am very much looking forward to. Okay, this is Beehive, and where I leave the AZT. Okay, at least there's water and bees. I had 5 other hikers come by while I was sitting there absorbing as much water as I could. So at least I got to chat with people. Good news is it does look like there's water up the canyon. And tomorrow I go by a college where I can fill up. It did actually rain for a little while I was at that stop, which was one of the most amazing things I've felt in days. So I've already done my 15 miles and I'm not looking to push it too much further today. There is a wash junction up ahead I think I'm going to go to. I'm having a little bit of a chafe issue I'm trying to deal with. I actually chugged about 3 liters of water when I got to that tank. I wasn't empty, but everything I'd been drinking was really warm. And when water gets to kind of a certain temperature, it is just not refreshing at all. It doesn't help you get your body temperature down or anything. I'm feeling much better now after 3 liters of cool water, sitting in the shade for a bit, getting to visit with people. 2 of the hikers that showed up at Beehive, apparently they'd been out of water or something. They actually showed up yelling and cussing at each other. They came up and apologized a little while later, saying they'd run out of water and things got a little intense. The other were Flapjack, Voodoo, and Eagle. Voodoo and Eagle were actually on the AT in 2021, the same time I was. Per the weather report, I pulled up on the ridge there. One more day in the 90s and then it's going to cool. I will say, stumbling around in the heat back there did have me wondering just how warm it's going to be on the Mississippi this summer. As far as the Grand Enchantment Trail, as of right now, I am aware of 3 people up ahead in the next day or so. We'll see if I catch them or not. And then there are people who are significantly further ahead. There's a couple who are actually dealing with some of the issues over on the New Mexico side already. Hey there, little guys. And less little. Well, it's 6:30. This is obviously my water fill up for the night, and I may just camp here. I like the look of this tree. Not too bad a spot, as long as you can ignore the quite frankly unsettling mass of soiled toilet paper. Oh well. Well, might have a little bit of a cow poop tang to it, but no biggie. Home sweet home for the night.